Drew Barrymore and Alyssa Milano are still enjoying the spotlight. But not every child star from the 80s felt the need to stick around. These familiar faces from the 1980s are all grown up, and now they live much more normal lives.
First you gotta do the truffle shuffle.
Come on!
Do it!
Come on!
The Goonies might just be the ultimate 80s kids movie, and if you grew up watching it, chances are that you remember Chunk and his famous truffle shuffle. The character played by Jeff Cohen became the blueprint upon which all plus-sized comic relief characters were based for the rest of the decade. That wasn't Cohen's only memorable 80s role, though. He also showed up in television series like Family Ties, Amazing Stories, and The Wonderful World of Disney. As he grew up, though, Cohen ultimately felt that his talents were best utilized off-camera. Speaking of Goonies director Richard Donner, he joked to Variety, "The fact that I looked like I knew what I was doing and looked like I could act proves that he was a genius." Donner did more than just set Cohen up for acting success in The Goonies. He set him up for success afterward too, funding his education and paving the way for his Hollywood-adjacent legal career. Cohen last acted in 1991, eventually becoming an entertainment lawyer and partner at Cohen Gardner LLP. As he put it, "None of that would have happened for me without Dick Donner helping me when there was nothing I could do for him." To me, that's a unique thing in our business. Dick Donner and Lauren Schuler Donner, because they were kind, paid for my college when I went to Berkeley. The 80s had no shortage of killer horror movies, but few are more chilling than Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. Hollywood legends Jack Nicholson and Shelley Duvall gave two of the most iconic performances in the genre's history, but the actor who played their son was no slouch either. At just 6 years old, and in his first movie role ever, Danny Lloyd did a fantastic job playing the traumatized child of Jack and Wendy Torrance.
Come play with us, Danny.
It's hard to watch The Shining without sharing Danny's sense of terror, but even though he seemed to have an impressive acting career ahead of him, Lloyd chose to take a different path. Outside of a TV movie role in 1982 and a cameo in the 2019 Shining sequel Dr. Sleep, Lloyd never acted in a major production again. Instead, he grew up, paid his way through college with farm work, and eventually became an educator. As of 2024, Lloyd was a professor in the biology department at Elizabethtown Community and Technical College in Kentucky. His ex-bio further notes that he's a husband and a father to 4 children. Despite moving on with his life, Lloyd still looks back fondly on his brief acting career. He told The Guardian in 2017, "I don't do many interviews, but when I do, I try to make it clear. The Shining was a good experience. What happened to me was I didn't really do much else after the film, so you kind of have to lay low and live a normal life." Few 1980s sitcoms were as successful as Who's the Boss, the Tony Danza starring series about a retired professional baseball player who takes a job as the live-in housekeeper for a divorced ad executive. Running from 1984 to 1992, the series was nominated for 10 Primetime Emmy Awards and 5 Golden Globes, and Danny Pintauro was an integral part of that success. He played Jonathan Bauer, the son of Angela Bauer, who finds a surrogate father in Tony Maselli, and a surrogate sister in Maselli's slightly older daughter, Sam. Despite appearing in virtually all of the series' 196 episodes and becoming a television fixture of the 80s, Pintauro acted only sporadically in the decades after the show ended. Meanwhile, he got married and held a variety of regular jobs, including but not limited to vet tech, P.F. Chang's server trainer and manager, agent's assistant, and a production coordinator. Pintauro, who is HIV positive, serves as an advocate for people who live with the virus. More recently, he made a return to acting, landing a role in the 2022 Lifetime movie A Country Christmas Harmony. In November 2024, Pintauro survived a near-fatal scooter accident. When James Cameron got the green light to make a sequel to Ridley Scott's Alien, he knew that he had to raise the stakes. While the first film saw Ellen Ripley save Jonesy the cat from a deadly xenomorph, Aliens gave her a surrogate daughter to protect from a whole colony of them. Newt, the adorable sole survivor of the settlement known as Hadley's Hope, was played by Carrie Henn. Now that's a face worth fighting a xenomorph queen for.
Get away from her, you...
Unfortunately, Newt was unceremoniously killed off at the beginning of Alien 3. Still, Henn's name has become etched into the annals of sci-fi lore. Despite her first project making a splash, Henn only returned to the world of acting for a cameo in the 2020 animated miniseries Thunder Island. That's because Henn, like many other child stars before and since, opted for a career in education. She told Tulsa World in 2016, "They don't understand that acting wasn't my passion. It wasn't my dream. Did I enjoy it? Yes. Was it an amazing experience? Absolutely. Would I do it again? Of course. But it wasn't my passion. Teaching was." After college, Henn went on to teach at an Atwater, California elementary school. More recently, though, she has been connecting with Aliens fans via Instagram and fan events. She's reportedly been married since 2005 and has a daughter of her own. Once upon a time, Josh Saviano was on one of the most iconic television series of the 1980s. From 1988 until 1993, he played Paul Pfeiffer on The Wonder Years, the nerdy best friend of Fred Savage's protagonist Kevin Arnold.
Last night I had a dream that when I got to school I realized I had no clothes on. If you're naked when you get to the bus stop, I'll tell you.
Outside of a handful of appearances on Law & Order Special Victims Unit, Saviano never appeared in another major television or film production after the Wonder Years finale aired. In that finale, it's revealed that Pfeiffer eventually graduated from Harvard and became a lawyer, a path that closely mirrors Saviano's real-life journey. In truth, Saviano attended Yale, another Ivy League school, and became a lawyer himself. He founded 2 advisory firms supporting artists, entertainers, athletes, influencers, and entrepreneurs. He's been married to his wife Jennifer since 2002, and they've raised 1 daughter together. Stephen Mond had a recurring role on the sitcom Different Strokes as Robbie Jason, the red-headed friend of Gary Coleman's Arnold Jackson, from 1980 to 1985. Mond also appeared in television series like Chips and Quincy M.E., as well as the Steven Spielberg-directed war comedy 1941. But Different Strokes will always be his claim to fame in Hollywood, and Mond remembers his time on the show fondly. As he said in a 2018 interview, "My best memories are just generally goofing off with Gary and Shavar Ross and Nicki Swasey between rehearsals." Rather than continue his acting career, Mond went all in on his education. He got a bachelor's degree in economics from University of California, Berkeley, a law degree from University of California, Davis, and a master's degree in sports management from University of Nevada, Las Vegas. All that schooling paid off when he later fulfilled a lifelong dream of becoming a Jeopardy champion, but he's also found his calling as a math teacher at high schools in Utah and Nevada. Where holiday movies, comedy movies, and 80s classics are concerned, perhaps no film has managed quite the same levels of notability in all 3 categories quite like National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Starring Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo in their 3rd go-around as Clark and Ellen Griswold, the 1989 Christmas classic chronicles the holiday misadventures of cinema's favourite dysfunctional family. Clark and Ellen's nephew, Rocky, who spends Christmas with the Griswolds, is played by Cody Burger.
This here is Rocky.
Have you got a kiss for me?
You better take a rain check on that, Art. He's got a lip fungus they ain't identified yet.
Burger later appeared in films like 1992's Forever Young and 1995's Heavyweights, in addition to the popular series Home Improvement. Having not appeared on screen since 1995, Burger instead decided to attend college at Tallahassee State College, according to a LinkedIn page in his name. From there, he got into the information technology space, working as a senior network engineer, a network and security team lead, and most recently as a systems architect. He's also been a Taekwondo instructor. Burger hasn't forgotten his vacation roots, though, making annual Christmas-time appearances on Tallahassee's The Greg Tish Show. Ilan Mitchell-Smith played Andy McAllister in 1988's Superboy and starred in the coming-of-age comedy The Wildlife in 1984. That said, 80s kids probably remember him as young genius Wyatt Donnelly from the 1985 John Hughes film Weird Science, who makes an artificial woman with some help from his friend. Despite his teenage success, Mitchell-Smith ultimately decided that stressing about his next role wasn't for him in the early 1990s, electing instead to advance his education. Even though Weird Science hasn't exactly aged well, Mitchell-Smith certainly has. After growing up in front of the camera, he got his GED and went on to receive both a bachelor's and a master's in medieval studies from UC Davis and Fordham. Then he went on to earn himself a PhD in English literature from Texas A&M. Eventually, he landed a job as an associate professor of medieval literature and culture at California State University, Long Beach, where he served as co-director of the university's Center for Medieval and Renaissance Studies. He's married and has 2 children. Staci Keanan's work in the 80s and the 90s placed her near the top of the sitcom hierarchy as far as child actors were concerned. First, she starred alongside Paul Reiser and Greg Evergin as Nicole Bradford, an orphan raised by her late mother's 2 ex-boyfriends in My Two Dads. Then, just a few years later, she was Dana Foster on the long-running series Step by Step. After that show's 1998 cancellation, Keanan logged a handful of television and film credits. last playing a version of herself and sharing the screen with fellow Step by Step alumni Patrick Duffy and Christine Lakin in the 2017 series Hollywood Darlings. Keanan's greatest success arguably came outside of show business. She got a bachelor's degree in art history from UCLA, tutored 5th through 12th grade students, got her law degree from Southwestern Law School, served as a deputy district attorney at the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office, and joined the faculty at Southwestern Law as an adjunct professor. Keanan is now married to actor Guy Birtwistle, and she hosts a podcast with Lakin called Keanan and Lakin Give You Deja Vu. Chris Hebert has an extensive list of acting credits on his resume, making appearances in memorable 1980s television series like Family Ties, St. Elsewhere, Airwolf, Tales from the Dark Side, and The Twilight Zone. He's best known for playing a young Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in the 1985 miniseries Robert Kennedy and His Times, and for his portrayal of Louis Rogan, the main character's younger brother in the 1984 sci-fi classic The Last Starfighter.
Alex, what the hell's going on?
Louis, you're having a terrible nightmare. Go back to sleep.
Hebert continued acting after completing those projects, but his last credit came with the 1996 independent film Waiting for Mo. As a young adult, Hebert graduated from the University of Southern California with a film degree, later getting his English degree and teaching credentials through Cal State Fullerton and a master's degree in theological studies through Golden Gate Baptist Theological Seminary. He then settled into a career as an educator, teaching English at Fullerton Union High School near his childhood home. In 2018, Hebert and his wife co-founded Evergreen Christian School, a homeschooling co-op and private school satellite program.